Well, it's actually a sunny day today, but it's pretty windy, and we're having a look at Adam's 66 plate KIA Sportage, which has basically a single light projector unit, and it has a flap. I don't know if you can see that in there, it's all reflections here, but basically it's a single bulb HB3. And what happens is there's a flap comes down and goes up, and that's how the dipping beam functions. But there seems to be a common problem with the KIA Sportage where the light performance is really not very good at all. So these are, I think it's like a daylight running light, is it, Adam? Aye, so it's like side light, daylight running light, and that's the main main beam and dip. But Adam previously had the 64 or 63 or something 6 foot plate KIA, which had the different light units, different shape, and it had two projectors, I think, and the lights were really good. But in this particular case, despite this being a newer car, the lights are a step backwards. So the plan is to fit one of these brackets that go behind the number plate, and then put a light bar on top. We've actually already tried putting higher rated, I think they were 100 watt, weren't they? HB3 bulbs, and then there's been LED HB3 equivalents fitted, which did, I think, give some improvement, but still not satisfactory. So the next step is to put the bracket on and wire up a light bar, and that's hopefully going to give reasonable full beam light performance for night time. Well, the next step in our cunning plan is to take this number plate bracket off. There's 5 Phillips screws, so there's 2 there, 1 in the middle and 2 there. So this is what we've done. We've drilled holes and we've put 6mm bolts through the number plate bracket, as you can see there. These will obviously have to get cut down, so we'll grind them down, but we'll see what that feels like. So this is where we are now. We've put in these coach bolts, and we've also drilled a 4mm hole to put through the retaining screw that goes through on the back. Now obviously we're going to have to cut these nuts down, or these bolts down, if there's any chance of this fitting back against the bumper. The only thing we're not sure about is how secure will this be, because it's only held on with 5 self-tappers, but this is us just trying it today. Well, that's the bracket fitted. We put the nuts in and we buzz them down, so there is a bit of movement there. But what we're planning on doing is putting the light on, and then we'll put some sort of stay from the grill which will stop, hopefully, it wobbling, but it's just a test at this point. Well, that's the first fit. We've just tried to align it somewhat so it looks like it'll hit the road, but I think that's tilting back a bit too much. But anyway, it's the first check. The next thing we need to do is see where we can feed the wires through. Looks like that'll probably go through there, in between the cooler bit. So So the wiring should be fairly discreet, but how we're going to get to that yet, goodness knows. Well, that's it, and I mean the camera has very much dulled that down, but that across the road is bloody bright. It's extremely bright. You get a photo, whatever image in on your eyesight as soon as you've looked at it. So what we've done is we took the cable through here, and the way we did that was we've put it between the cooler, or the, I don't know if that's the aircon condenser, is it? Might be the aircon condenser. So we fed it through between, came through there, put the hand down there. As you can see, the cable's here, cable tied it up there. We've bunched this up here at the moment just as a temporary means. We've gone into the positive terminal, connected it there. We've gone into the negative terminal, connected it there. There's the fuse. So the next thing we're going to look at is, can we feed this through somewhere? We don't know how to do that yet, but there is talk. Can you take that bit off, Adam? On I think it was an Australian forum that you can hook this up. I don't know if it's this terminal, but it's the green wire that will activate, in theory, this switch for operation during the times that the main beam's on. So we need to look into that, but in the meantime, as this has just been set up to see how it works, let's see if there's a way through the firewall, and then we'll just put this switch for the time being in the car. Well, here we are, we're on a dark countryside road. That's the, is that the dip, is it, Adam?
That's dip.
That's dip, put main beam on. Is that main beam?
Main beam.
You wouldn't really see any difference there, would you? No. And then your light bar, massive difference. So main beam again, and then just try dip and beam again. So that's dip, beam. So I mean, as you say, the standard is pretty hopeless. So that's the light bar, and that's how many watts? 270 or something, right? Alright, well, definitely a difference. Right, here's another example. So this is dip and beam. That's beam. That does look higher, and then put the light bar on. Yeah, that's a bit. You can definitely see like the trees take the light bar off. Yeah, you can't see a thing. Maybe go. So here's another one. So that's dip, main beam, but you can see certainly in this area here. Put it onto dip again. Dip. I mean, it doesn't do anything to promote it, but it does sort of do it higher up. So beam again. So it lights that tree up. That's pretty much it. And then your light bar. Yeah, it's a bloody night and day, isn't it?
The light bar needs to be tilted up a bit.
Needs to go up a bit. So hold on.
Dip.
Okay, so here we are. We're sitting in the car. That is dip. That is beam. So we're not seeing any difference really here in the foreground. This tree lit up. So go back to dip. So I mean, it's pants, isn't it? And then we'll wait for this car to go past, and then we'll put on the light bar. So that's a huge difference. Now I'm just going to go out, and I'm going to adjust the light bar because we think it needs to be. I mean, it's very, very white. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So that's where it is at the moment. but we think we need to lift it up a little bit. So yeah, put it on, turn the light bar off. So that's the light bar off, main beam. That's dip, beam, light bar. So yeah, massive difference. So that's not been a bad job. That's it, right, so that's the light bar on, and then just put beam on, Adam.
Let's move on.
That's beam and light bar. Okay, so I think that does look pretty good, but the light could certainly do with being lifted up slightly, just a touch. So I think that's quite successful, really, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so we're now coming into the village. So that's the light bar off regular lights. That's it on beam, and that's it on dip.